Hello and welcome to Confronting Injustice. I am your host, Linda Solomon. James Watson joins me as our co-host as we discuss the injustices of the criminal legal system. Our guests today are Tracy Mack and Don Young. They are co-founders of Step Nation Incorporated, a nonprofit organization. First, we want to say thank you for being here. And we're really interested in learning about Step Nation. But before you talk about Step Nation, can you give us a little information about each of you and sort of how you got into this line of advocacy?
Okay, so we were working together. We met and we were working together. We were put on an assignment together, and that's how we met. And we figured out that we have a lot of things in common, and we clicked from there. And
the chemistry was there.
yes.
Okay.
And so my name is Dawn Young, and the reason why I became an advocate or an abolitionist, I would say, because I don't believe in systems that regulate our people. But the reason why I became so involved is because my oldest son, was involved in the criminal justice system. So from there, I worked for the same organization as Tracy, and it was Families for Justice's Healing, and we learned a lot about what our community needed in that realm. And so from there, they helped me with my son in his case, and I've been employed there for a while. I'm no longer employed there because I'm doing my own thing, but I learned a lot, and that's where I met Tracy. She was also working for the organization doing the work, and so together we did a couple of assignments together, and the chemistry was there, and we just clicked, and we just became like friends, and we started really hanging out and seeing that we could do, the same thing she liked, I liked. So we had a lot in common. So from there, we just kept stepping, climbing all the way up until we got our own organization. Okay. Basically.
Wonderful.
So when we Dawn did participatory defense. She did that part, but I worked on the state budget. And from there, what we did was we took the state budget and we broke it. I took the budget and I broke it down into 12 different categories. So we, as a community, we teamed up, and the categories were things that affect our community.
Okay.
So it was victim of violent crimes. It was what they call gang violence, domestic violence, substance abuse, housing, which is huge. That should be always first. But housing, depression. There was something about, and I can't remember what the exact line item was, but it was about trauma. And I know how me and Dawn, I just was sitting here thinking how we connected was we like a lot of the same things. We we talked about a fashion show, and she was just like on my neck, like, oh, when are we gonna do a fashion show? When are we gonna do a fashion show? And we just developed that. It took us 2 years to do it, but that was Patches of Pain was born, and we'll talk about that, I guess.
Right. But before you go on, let's talk a bit about, let's see. So what inspired you? So the both of you got together and created Step Nation. Can you tell us what that Step Nation is, like STEP? Each letter represents something.
Striving,
thriving, empowering our people.
Okay.
So that's kind of what was going on at that time. It was during COVID.
Okay.
And we started off doing workshops online, like we would do paint night online. We would do something called Expressions Through Presentation. And we Step Nation started before we knew it started. And and then we just named it Step Nation.
Okay.
Striving, thriving, empowering our people. And the first event we did together was Christmas on the Block.
Okay. And before that, so my understanding is that it's all about arts, dealing with trauma through the arts. Is that the case?
Yeah, so it is a arts for social justice program. We have workshops, like she said. So we started by doing things online with each other, and during COVID, playing game night and all that type stuff. So, and we found that it was really relaxing for a lot of people, and that just having somebody to talk to and being in, even though you couldn't be around people was a good thing. So from that, we developed Step Nation, and then that's how we became Arts for Social Justice, because we believe in social justice, and we feel like people coming home, they don't even realize they have trauma, right? They don't want to admit they have trauma, and a lot of us don't even like going to see about the trauma. So from there, we decided, well, this is what we're gonna do. We'll have arts, because we see how it's, bring people. It brings us all together. We have fun. Remember, we had a paint night before, Linda, and so, just doing things like that, bringing us all. Even men, they think they don't want to sit on and paint something or draw. And my nephew, he's probably he's 40, and he sits and paints with me. Like we all, and it's a relaxing thing.
It's therapeutic.
Just doing anything with your hands,
Right.
Yeah. So
now you talk about men and women who are returning citizens, but men, women who are in prison, family members and friends are doing that time with them, and so I, want the audience to know that your population is not just returning citizens, it's children, it's adults. Can you speak to some of the...
It's community. That's it. Our mission is, we try to get a lot of organizations to come together and collaborate with us for the health and wealth of our community. We need to really bring back the community, the neighborhood, how it was before. We knew who everybody was in our community. We couldn't do certain things. Your mother knew that person, and you didn't do anything. So we need to bring community back, because it seems like we're, all over the place now. We don't have anything. So starting from there, families first, of course, always families.
Let them know that they're not alone.
Definitely that.
Not alone.
Definitely.
We're all in this together.
Right. Because a lot of people don't understand the plight of having somebody who's been incarcerated if they never have. So yeah, it brings us together in a community where we all feel the same feelings, and we could talk about it. And through art, doing whatever the art is that day.
I just want to say that the formerly incarcerated, we forget about the family. When you incarcerate one person, you incarcerate the family. You incarcerate the community.
And you treat it like that.
Yeah, and so we forget about, okay, well, we're going to do something for the returning citizens, but what about the damage that you have done to? I am a product of that incarceration. I grew up, my brother went to jail, I was 4 years old, and he did 46 years. Wow. And my other brothers, they were in and out, but I am a product of that, because I learned at an early age how to catch the bus to Norfolk, how to stand in line for the food packages, how to make sure that when you go, you have to be, because you're going in to visit, but you're treated like, like he's not a good, what are you doing here? Like, why are you wasting your time? Like, it was that. So the trauma that we dealt with that, and we don't know as a people how to, we forget about it. Or me and you talked the other day, it's like, you figure out a way, whatever works for you, on how to move forward, but it's not easy. So
it's not easy, and it is a form of trauma, and we normalize the abnormal.
Exactly.
And so what I hear you saying is Step Nation is a product of passion and primary source information. Like, you have lived experiences that came together to create this Step Nation. And I have to ask, because we know that oftentimes we have these nonprofits, we're doing this stuff, and we're doing it because it needs to be done. not because we're getting grants, not because we're getting funding. We're doing it because it needs to get done, and we're figuring it out. Has that been the case with you? Have you received funding? Like, how are you doing this? And then you can tell us about Patches of Pain, because that was a big production. I know you did something for the NAACP. That was a big production. How are you doing this stuff, these things?
Wishing and praying.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul, I guess. Sometimes we have to just go in our own pockets.
Right.
Patches of Pain. Well, Tracy can talk about that because she does a lot of the financial aspect, where I do the other part, the justice part.
Listen, we figure it out. We do. We go in our pockets. We go in our closets. We create. We make. We get people like James and Linda who come out and support 150% there. And we just have to do the best we can do. We did get a little bit of funding, but other than that, we're definitely robbing Peter to pay Paul. To be honest.
Can you tell us about Patches of Pain, because that was a big production. That had to take a massive amount of time, energy, and fun and money, like whatever. Even if it's an investment, if it was just a big project.
Well, that was the fashion show I told you that we talked about 2 years ago. We were doing Christmas on the Block, and we talked about a fashion show, and Dawn was just going crazy about it, and we worked on it from 21, that was December of 21, and then it happened July 1st of 23.
Okay.
And, but what it is, it's a fashion show that takes you on a journey through Black history. And starting with the Middle Passage, what we found, I started learning about, at 40, I started learning that there were slaves taken through State Street, through and it's a plaque down Rose Wharf called the Middle Passage. There's a nonprofit just for that, and thank you to them. We were doing a walk. We wanted to go to the African American Museum, so we did the walk, and then we just started doing research on our history. And at 40, I realized that. About the Middle Passage. So that's the first part of the collection. So it's the Middle Passage, the Atlantic. It's about the Atlantic slave trade, but we definitely didn't want to do the poor me. We wanted to represent who we were before we were captured. So it's the Middle Passage, and then it's the Northern Migration, when people came up here from down south looking for a better
Freedom and economics.
Yes, a better life. And then the third collection is the Civil Rights Movement. And the fourth one is the Black Power Movement. And then the fifth is the Patches, which brings it all together. And that was the quilts and that we used to communicate, that we used to do everything. And then what we did was we took all our old clothes, and everything we made was repurposed. So we were the original upcyclers. Sorry.
And so you, sold things. You got together and kind of did this, put the presentation on, but actually sewed much of the clothing.
We did sew it all.
We sewed all of it.
Okay. And at Suffolk University, so you collaborated with Suffolk University, and you used their space downtown Boston, which was a gorgeous space.
Yes. And
Nice.
we used the, what was the address on, because they have a lot of different
It was
locations.
Sergeant Hall, David J. Sargent Hall.
Yeah. Was
120
that
Tremont Street.
Yeah, Tremont
Yes,
Street. So we
it was.
used that one with the big cathedrals in the front. And and it came up beautiful.
It absolutely did. We were there.
And from that, we were invited to do a little segment for the NAACP when they came for the convention, the 114th convention, because they hadn't been here since the 80s, I think, was the last one.
Right.
And so, and a lot of people don't really talk about the NAACP in Boston as much, so you really don't hear a lot from them.
Right.
So this will bring it all back. Now people will understand what the NAACP is about, especially for our younger folk, that don't know about a lot and
Related to
anymore.
history.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly. It's keep
Absolutely.
whitewashing our history more and more. It's just keeping getting eliminated and eliminated. Like Tracy said, we didn't even know But we don't learn that. We don't learn
school.
that in school that
Right.
they sold slaves on, and that we was the first ones to free slaves, but they really didn't free slaves because they were still doing underhanded stuff with slavery. But we didn't know.
We didn't know, and I have to get this in here. Faneuil Hall was a slave owner and a slave trainer, and he purchased that land
For that purpose.
for with the sale of a young boy, and we have historians that his handwriting is his story is in writing, and so for people who may question that, but that land was bought by the purchase of a slave.
And they had meetings in that building. They built a building just for that, to have meetings about how they were going to do whatever they were going to do towards slaves. And do you know, to this day there is not one black business there, and they won't have any black businesses there?
And not to digress too far, but I have to tell you, there are many vendors there, and there is not one, not one.
Not one that's
And there's a
black.
group of people who've been fighting that charge, and I'm included in
Reparations
that.
group,
Not even
yeah.
reparations, just to change the name because it doesn't reflect. We should not, Faneuil Hall was someone who we don't want to.
Admonish and say he was a great person, right?
And so what, in my judgment, this has become an issue of money over morals. The current mayor, the previous mayor has refused to address this issue that's been going on for at least 4 years now. The name should be changed to something more
those
appropriate.
same people do reparations. Those same group of people also do the reparations part. Because me and Tracy that's another thing that we were trying to open up, is our heritage, and doing research on heritage, and trying to find where we came from, because we can only go back so far. I've gone back to like the 1816s, and that was it. I can't go back any further than that, And so we get into the whole heritage thing. So Tracy's been going to the reparations meetings also on Tuesdays.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you, one of your, right under your slogan, or right under your title, I often see the statement, nothing about us without us. Tell us, what do you mean? What does that mean? Nothing about us without us. What is that? What do
If
you
you
mean?
know, then you know. No, I'm only kidding.
Well,
I'm only kidding.
no, well, it's kind of self-explanatory, but for people who may be hearing this for the people who may be hearing this for the first time, so
Exactly.
I want to answer that, because that is, nothing about us without us means we're sick of being facilitated. So what that means is, if there is a grant that comes from someone, normally it is an organization that's established. You have to have an organization that's established to facilitate it, and most of the time it's not us.
okay.
And so they have the say on where the funds goes, and it creates this. By the time it's done, we have got crumbs, and the real funding is already into someone who's already established, who's already have the privilege, who's already have the connections, and we're still in the same boat. So nothing about us without us means you can never tell me, someone else can never tell me what we need for us.
Okay.
That's just, we need to
Be at the
make our
table.
own
We need to be
destiny.
at the table.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
It's about us first. It's
Exactly.
about us first.
Exactly.
If anybody know, we know.
Right.
Right. That's what
Now
it
we
is.
need some help to turn around this so we
Exactly.
can now grow.
And we don't want you doing anything. Don't come to us and tell us this is what you're going to do for us.
Right.
We need to be involved.
Yeah.
You can't tell us what we need for ourselves. We got to tell you what we need.
Right.
And they don't fund grassroots. They don't fund grassroots organizations, the ones that's really doing the work.
Right.
They fund organizations that are big, and what they do is get the millions of dollars to facilitate 10,000 to you and 10,000 to that. So they never really do the work. You know what I'm saying? It's the grassroots organizations that are out there doing the work that they never fund.
Right. We're still we're still being enslaved. We're still being treated like second class or children or you. I can tell you, but you only can do this parameter. You have to do it this way. This is what we think is best for you. And that's what nothing
Don't
about
make
us.
decisions
Yeah, we're
without
getting away from
us.
that. We're getting away
Don't
from it.
make
Yes,
decisions
yes,
without us. That's it.
exactly.
Okay.
That what it
decisions
means is I can give you
come
all the ingredients for sweet potato pie, but
You know what I mean?
everybody
You
can't
Can't
make it.
exactly.
So
Good
Okay.
analogy.
It is good. It is good. What are the? So you did the Patches of Pain. I know you hosted an activity just this past weekend. Can you talk about that? And then we're going to go into. I'm sure there are people sitting at home thinking, "Well, I would like to do something, or have free time, or just feel compelled to do something."
Wanna help.
Want to help in some way. But can you talk about the program that you were part of this weekend in Brockton?
So we realized that a lot of people, I'm one of them, right? I'm originally from Boston. I grew up in Mission Hill, but I can't afford to live there. So I moved further and further out. So I'm in Randolph, and there's a lot of people out that are moving in Randolph and Brockton and, out this way. And there really aren't any services here for our community. So we've been looking for space on this side of town, and we decided that they had a day in the park in Brockton. They put on an event every year, and we decided that we wanted to be a part of that event. We collaborated with them, and we did a obstacle course for the children. So we had giant balls, and it rained, but the kids had the best time. But we did an obstacle course just for the kids in the community.
Okay. And so, obstacle course, cotton candy,
Yes.
free prizes. Like, the prizes were incredible that children were getting. It was a bunch of things, although it did rain, but
It did not stop us, though.
We had
That's
some people
dope.
donate some gifts and stuff, which is how we get a lot of our funding is
Right.
through donations. So, if there's anybody out there that wants to donate to Step Nation, just go. You can email us at info@stepnation.org.
yeah. What are your hopes for Step Nation? What are the plans for moving forward? Aside from trying to find a space so you can have your arts programs that address social justice and
We want to
healing.
make a space buildings.
Okay, so I guess I didn't answer the question. I'm kind of all over the place. This is my first interview. I'm nervous. I don't know
Okay.
where to look, whether I look at you or look at her. Let me just tell the truth.
Okay.
But so Step Nation, how we play, it's four things. We do Christmas on the Block, where we do an event every year on different areas. We are doing it in Brockton this year. So we do Christmas on the Block, and it's just a holiday light display developed by us that we light up. We pick a park, we light it up. We do hot chocolate, toys and gifts and games, and we play games for the kids in the community. And this year we're doing our 4th year in Mission Hill, and then we're also adding Brockton to the list. We have a space in Brockton that we're doing that. So we do Christmas on the Block. We do, of course, the Patches of Pain fashion show, and we're doing a play with that. And we're doing that, I think it's December 18th. So we're doing,
We're going to try
we're
to
doing
do it. We're talking about it right now.
Okay.
So we're pushing it.
coming soon. We're doing the
Okay.
play.
Yeah, we'll say coming soon.
Yeah, so we're doing
Exclamation
the
point.
Yeah, so the second is Patches of Pain, and then we're also doing Praise the Bridge, which is it's just about remembering the people that brought. My mother used to have this saying called "Praise the bridge that brought you across." Like she used to always have these one-liners, and "Praise the bridge that brought you across" is the people that help. The people that make you who you are. The yes, yes, and I may have three. My sister that just passed away, she was a bridge for me. She showed me some things. She showed me how to be who. She's a huge part of who I am. And so we just want to praise the bridge is remembering who we are, but it also is a research project where we can go back. The goal is to make it accessible for our community to find out where we come from.
Okay.
To do the DNA. A lot of people don't have $100 to pay for their DNA to figure out where they
or
come
just
from.
to pay for research.
Well, to pay for research. And there's not a lot of research for Black history. I had a guy stop me, and I was in Atlanta, stop me in the street to ask me what am I? And he kept asking, well, are you mixed with Mexican? And no, I'm not like, and he literally would not let me pass. And I had to tell him I was mixed with Slave Master, and he let me go.
That's
So
interesting.
sorry, I'm
We have
sorry.
2 minutes left. Just, we just want to commend you on the work that you're doing. We want people to know that it's, if anyone wants to get involved, they're welcome to get involved. And that we recognize that people from every ethnic background deal with trauma and they need support, right? This is your effort to do this, just as we have Confronting Injustice, but we just want to be as supportive as we can be.
And us to you too.
Thank you very much.
Whenever we can.
Thank you.
Yes, always doing the work.
Together and we
Yes.
build.
Closing
Under one
words, 1
umbrella.
minute. Any other like closing thought?
We need volunteers for Christmas on the Block,
Yes,
and we
we
need
do.
money for Christmas on the Block.
And
Yes.
you can, what's the GoFundMe? Do you know the GoFundMe? Is it just Step Nation?
We need help with setting up the GoFundMe.
But you can go on info@stepnation.org and email us, and we'll get back to you that way.
Yeah.
Okay. We appreciate you being here, ladies.
And we also have Instagram,
Yes.
sorry.
At Step Nation and Facebook Step Nation
Yeah,
Week.
yes.
Okay,
On
wonderful.
social media. Thank you.
Thank
But thank you for having us. We're grateful for this interview. We really are.
Thank you for being
We
with
just
us.
thank you.
Yeah.
All the way, James. All the way.
Yes, I look forward to what's new is I look forward to building a team with Confronting Injustice.
Wonderful.
That's that.
Absolutely. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you to our guests, Tracy Mack and Dawn Young, for being with us. Thank you for watching Confronting Injustice. For James Watson, I am Linda Solomon. We'll see you next time.